Hello, this is video number 8 in a series of videos that I'm doing covering the basic concepts, story ideas, projects, different things I have going on. And the reason why I'm covering each one of these different concepts is because I would like to collaborate with someone or maybe sell one of these concepts because I could always use the money, because we're dead broke and hurting. So, but where was I? Yes, this is number 8. You're number 8 watching number 8 in the series here on my channel, here on YouTube. And we just got done talking about zombie justice, Harry and his zombie friend. And that was number 7, and now here number 8 is the Haunted Sword. And the Haunted Sword is I think relatively short, so I might even talk about how pigs lost their wings, and then number 9 or 10 we're going to talk about Jimmy, which has been a labor of love also. As you know, Citizen Jane has been a labor of love. So has Jimmy. I mean, Jimmy has been really something that I've been thinking about for years. I mean, since the 90s, if you can believe that. You know, so yeah, I've never done anything with all these ideas. They've just always been in my head, and really I don't know how to utilize them. So I don't know anything to do other than just to put them on YouTube and see what happens. So that's what I'm doing. Okay, Haunted Sword. Let's click over onto that. A not-so-pure-hearted protagonist finds the Sword of Heroes with the power of previous owners of this magic sword along with it. He was desperate for help. Now he will have to find out what it takes to be a real hero. That's the tag. The treatment. Finding himself running from a band of road rogues and robbers in the forest of what will one day be Scotland. Yeah, I don't know about that. Some fantasy place. I don't know. And he runs up the hill only to find a dead end of a 100-foot drop. At the end of the path, there is a tree which leans over the cliff in a raging beauty. With this weapon already taken from him, and with very little hope left, with his weapon already taken from him, not the Haunted Sword, with very little hope left, he sees a pile of rocks, seemingly as if it were someone was buried there. He doesn't quite get that. He sees the sword at the base of the grave and grabs it. Immediately, he sees a vision of a warrior woman, just in full-on majesty and awesomeness. She tells him the secret of the sword, and that by picking it up, he is bound forever to never leave his side until he proves himself worthy of the sword. Then he is allowed to lay it to rest. Then he is back to reality, and it has only been less than a second while he was out what seemed like hours during this delusion thing. He fights the band of rogues and robbers and wins, with whoever is still alive running off into the woods to relative obscurity. And the reason he wins is because he has the Haunted Sword, and it gives him like kind of special powers kind of thing. That is the first 10 minutes of the short story. Okay, let me see who that is. Unknown caller? Yeah, no thanks. Let's just I don't take calls from unknown callers. Maybe I should. I don't know, but usually they're bill collectors or... Alright. I'm going to answer this, but I'm going to answer it on camera. Hello? Listen to that. Okay, back to... Now I'm going to have to do just Haunted Sword here on this video. Okay, so that's the first 10 minutes of the story on film. By the way, this could be a magical realm or what Scotland was before the deluge of heroes, which is otherwise known as the Great Flood, which I call the deluge of heroes. Noah's flood, that whatever. Now with this sword, he understands that his obligation must be to save someone from bad people, and thus be a hero. As it turns out, he saves the entire civilization of the valley below him in a revolt against a tyrannical woman queen and a group of witches that have hold on the citizens. However, through the leadership of the sword, our hero finds an amateur sorceress, young both in life and in experience. She proves to be able to advance at a fast rate to where she's actually a full distraction for the three witches in the final battle. What happens is she learns an ancient spell that is an illusion spell that they can't detect as an illusion unless you know the spell. It works well until they are betrayed by one of the people in their small band of heroes. The betrayer brings the scroll to the witches, and they destroy the illusion of a giant army being led by a dragon, with which the queen's army was swinging at nothing and hitting each other and slaying each other. But that isn't what they saw until the witches undo the spell. By this time, our protagonist, with the aid of a Bucky to his Captain America type person, they get into the castle, or Robin to Batman, I guess is another one. They get into the castle to have a battle with the queen. In the end, he sacrifices his life for the defeat of the queen. His Bucky person, or Robin person, lives, only to bury him on the top of that overhang next to the grave of the warrior woman. When Bucky tries to plant the sword into the ground, the sword won't let him. Then he sees his old friend who tells him the tale of the hero's sword and its secrets, and he must now learn how to be a true hero, or she. I have no problem with this Bucky character being a she. In fact, it would probably be better if it was a she. During the story, there will be like a sheriff or law official who puts the main character in jail and takes the sword from him. He just laughs when the cage is shut because he knows the sword will magically appear at his side in mere seconds. That is where he meets his Bucky. She runs with him to get free of jail and a death sentence for stealing gold. I have no problem with the sorceress and the sidekick both being females. And because I love a good, strong woman female character. I mean, there's nothing like it. It's, showing off the incredible strength that women have, which I think at times is far greater than we give women credit for. Anyways, so there's two different locations for the three witches and the queen. The renegades who hate the queen and the witches, they build a small band of unlikely heroes, including the teenage sorceress. The witches live in a large towering tree on the opposite side of the valley up on a hill. The queen's fortress overlooks the city from the north side of the valley next to the large river. And finally, on the south side of the valley is the way to the ocean, where there are fleets of allies waiting for the queen's armies to take over the whole land, and their enemies land across the sea, which is modern-day Germany, Luxembourg, the Dutch area. The queen has plans to unite with all that have power and will reign, and with her will reign over the whole of mankind. Okay, so that's kind of what's going on there. It's purely an adventure story. Oh, by the way, did I tell you that the queen eats people and encourages all her nobles to eat people? That's right. That's right. As if it couldn't get any worse, they're cannibals. They fatten up those who are selected, which causes disharmony with the poor because they just think that the fattened people get to live up in the castle. They know that occasionally a fattened up citizen goes missing. Only a few know this to be true. I love it. It's disgusting and terrifying all at the same time. Those chosen to be fattened up are picked publicly through a lottery system, which just makes those not chosen even angrier. Now, if someone escapes the queen and starts to tell a secret, they will be impaled in the town square. And the rumor is that anybody who badmouths the queen's lottery in any way is publicly impaled. And everybody is forced to play. Knowing that his weapon will never leave his side, he has his sorceress friend make it look like the teenager he won the lottery, and they take his weapon and march him up to the castle for the big feast. Finding out that the rumors were true, he escapes, signals the sorceress to start the invasion. Bucky is with him in the escape, and they rush up the Queen's chambers. Of course, as soon as they threaten his sword of power appears in his hand. After defeating some guards, Bucky gets her weapon too, and they fight their way up to the Queen's quarters. Of course, it is all chaos, and all the guards are positioning for an outside attack, not an inside evasion. There are some serious kick-butt guards that he has to face in order to get to the Queen's presence. He learns that he can access all the warriors who have ever owned the sword, which puts him in an equal stance with her men and her own power and magic weapon, maybe a spear. I like spears. So that's it. That's the Haunted Sword. I got to end this because it's taking time. Next, I'm going to be talking. Yeah, it's 10 minutes already, 10.5 minutes. And so I have to end this. Next, we're going to be talking about how pigs lost their wings. That'll be number, let's see, this is what, number 8? So that'll be number 9. So this is number 8. See you on number